Hey YouTube, I guess I felt I wanted to make a video on anxiety. I know that it's one of those things that people just really don't recognize, and a lot of people just don't know much about it, and they think that people that claim that they have it are just trying to make some excuse or something for something else that's going on in their life, or just trying maybe they're being lazy or something. But it's definitely an issue. I know I've had it, and throughout my life, especially just the past 3 years, 2 years actually. I feel I've really made a huge progression and a milestone on it. I'm gonna try not to keep this too long. Try not to probably bore you too much, but I know it's real. I have it, and I've really had it. Like I said, is I feel that I made progression on it, but it really affected me throughout my life with friends and dating and all this. It wasn't even until a couple years ago, or 3 or so, that I actually started being able to get out and start to talk to people more, and actually asking people out on a date. I ended up going on several just a couple years ago, but I went through some big depression periods in my life. I would probably say about 5 years ago is when I really just hit a huge bout of depression. I ended up losing my job. I got laid off. Uh, I ended up moving at a certain 5 years or so ago, though. I didn't even say goodbye to any of my friends. I guess with having anxiety too, you're afraid of confrontation. It was just one of those things to where I never said goodbye. I just up and moved. And my best friends too. I had several best friends, especially one in particular. Never even said goodbye to him. Just moved. But I feel anybody who has this knows what I'm talking about. You have a hard time with confrontation. You have a hard time talking with large groups of people. You have a hard time really getting out there and accomplishing any of your goals in life, because it's like there's this brick wall that's just almost stopping you. And it's hard. It's Some of us have it worse than others, but anybody who has it knows that you get that nervous feeling. Your heart starts beating real fast. Your blood pressure goes up, and it just feels like you get that flight or fright syndrome, to where all of a sudden you just want to take off and run the other direction sometimes. Yeah, I mean, it's affected me even with jobs before, to where you end up taking sometimes, and what I find is, at least in my life, is I took out more anger. And people with anxiety sometimes do that. They lash out, and they take their frustrations out on other people, and instead of and it took me a while to admit that I even have anxiety, and that I was lashing out at other people because I was unhappy. And I did that for a while, especially getting out of high school, and a certain period to where I really hit a huge bout of depression. I was really depressed. I was so depressed. I even told myself at one point I was getting ready to sign up to the military, which I know is not a bad thing. Is I support our troops, this and that, but it's not the reason to go in. You should go in the military because you want to go in. I was getting ready to go in because I was so depressed. I didn't care about my life practically anymore. I was so depressed. And I know a lot of you have, you know what I'm talking about. It's just, I went in my room every day. I didn't talk to anybody really. I had no friends. I wasn't dating. It was a mess. but everybody has those thoughts that go through their head sometimes. I feel a lot of times what causes the anxiety is you're afraid of what other people think of you. You're afraid of all these things that go through your head when you meet somebody or about to do something or go somewhere. I feel that you're constantly thinking, at least me anyway, I know everybody's different, but I'm sure there's many of us that have the same thing, is you start thinking like, oh my god, what does this person think of me? Am I going to open up my mouth and say something dumb? Am I going to, am I going to impress this person? Is this person not going to like, little stupid things like that. That shouldn't really matter. Who cares if you talk to somebody and they don't like you? Who cares? More likely that a lot of times you talk to somebody, you'll never see them again. But that's how I feel has always been kind of that wall that's been in front of me, is just I keep thinking of what others are going to think of me. And I feel that's with all of us. Even people who don't have anxiety feel that, but I feel with us, we take it to a new level. We amplify that to the point to where we have like obsessive compulsive almost about this. It's just we take it to a new level, I feel, and we're just thinking about it too much, and it becomes abnormal, and you end up getting this fear to even go out and do anything. Let me just give a shout out real quick, is Conscious Cloud. You gotta check out his channel, and he's one of the first, I would say, YouTubers that I actually started watching his streaming videos for the anxiety. He hasn't been making as much anymore, but I felt watching his videos actually got me to understand that there's other people out there that are going through what I'm feeling, and it was really kind of at least somewhat warming to know, in a sense, that hey, you're not the only one out there. Some kind of relief that hey, there's others that have that are in your situation. Which, of course, I wish there wasn't, but it's good to know you're not alone in the struggle with what we have. There's so much I want to talk about, and there's so much I get into. I just don't want to ramble too much. As far as even supplements and prescription medication, and these are the herbal supplements you could take for depression, and all these different kinds of things that I ultimately feel don't work. Some of them are temporary. I don't want to say it's not even cure, but it's like a temporary relief of what you have that ultimately I feel is gone pretty quick. The only way to really beat it is to really try to rehabilitate yourself, and it takes a long period of time. It's not something you can do in a month. It's even like weight loss or anything else. Weight loss, especially if you're heavy, is gonna take time. It's with anything, with weight loss or building muscle or doing anything. It just takes time. It's not something you can achieve within a month, and that was my mistake. And I think that's what a lot of us out there, we try to cure ourselves and get disappointed when we we look at, after about a month of, we feel, oh, I'll take this supplement and I'll start talking to people, and within a month I'll feel like a new changed man. I feel like I'll be able to take on the world, and if it works for you, good. But I felt it really took me at least 2 years or so of really trying at it and really keeping up with it, and really just at one point just And I don't want to say snapped. It's just because that sounds like you went crazy. But I felt just at one point I was so depressed and so at my bottom I've ever been that I said something came over, like this warming feeling. Like I said, I don't care anymore. And I finally hit that point to where it says I don't care. I have been caring so much and so hard of every little detail of what people said and thought of me that it prevented me from doing anything. And it prevented me from doing a lot of things. And at one point, I said, I don't care. And I ended up going out there, and I felt really making a lot of progress to where I'm in now. Even now, I'm in a relationship. And looking back, even if I was to go back, 10 years ago, where I'm at now, I would think would almost be impossible. Even going back 5 years ago, I would say I would laugh. But you guys know what I'm talking about. Is it's a slow progression to really cure yourself in a way, and there's always gonna be that piece to where you always have it, even after time goes on. You're always gonna have. You're always gonna have a little bit of that, and I have it still. My big thing is sometimes large groups of people is that you don't know, of course. People you don't know or you don't know well, you always feel hesitant. At least I am to say anything. But that's where I'm at. I try to really go through just really quickly anyway. I can go more detail about this. I guess I'm just trying to do this also for, I feel, therapeutic sense maybe, and also just to try to help anybody else out there and know that you're not the only one. There's other people out there, and it's something you just gotta really work on. It's something that you just gotta push yourself every day you wake up. Every day I woke up, I pushed myself to do something. Not every day necessarily do something different, but I would say every week. I pushed myself to try to do something at least every week, something different. And I really forced myself at times.